recognize them as like attitude indicator, and then spoken out from that's an airspeed attitude indicator, the altimeter, airspeed indicator, DSI, airspeed indicator, the tachometer, airspeed indicator. It's always, everything goes back to the attitude indicator. But you also got to be able to interpret. So you keep your cross-check moving, you interpret the instruments correctly, and then you maintain aircraft control. In my mind, that should be different, but I'm just saying the FAA, these are the priorities they have, and then they're listed priorities. So I test you based on this. However, it goes without saying, aircraft control is paramount to anything. Always maintain aircraft control. So aviate, navigate, communicate still applies here. But in order to properly fly instruments, you got to be able to do these things. These are fundamental skills that you need to acquire. All right? We didn't talk about this also in particular, but I want to recognize we're going to do some climb and descents. We'll take whatever time we've got here. We'll do the simulator. But what you want to do, if you're climbing and leveling off, the rule is 10% of VSI, vertical speed indicated, right? So if I'm climbing, and I'm climbing at 1,000 feet per minute, I would start my level off 100 feet prior to the assigned altitude or wherever I want to level off. Make sense? 10% of the VSI. That will allow you to make a nice smooth level. And that goes for descent too. So if I'm descending down, 10% of my VBI in descent, VSI in descent. VBI, I always say that's vertical velocity indicator. It's what we just say in the military. So sorry about that. If I've got a very small correction to make those, like I've got 100 foot, I'm a little off my altitude, need to correct. What do? Make a very small correction. And generally speaking, in the FAA, I want you to say something less than a full bar deflection on your ADI. And usually they say like half a bar. So you set that. So instead of, you don't have anything outside to look at, you raise the nose, half a bar, get your altitude, correct back. You might have to add a little bit of power in order to do that as well. That makes sense? You need to be able to know the definition of rate, standard rate turn. We've talked about that in the past. But you need to be able to apply it too. So application means, like, you have to turn 40 degrees. How many seconds of standard rate turn do you need to do to get there? Because literally, if you lost your ADI and whatever, that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to time turns. That sucks.
Do they still do that for all kinds of stuff?
It can happen.
Yeah.
I've been in a situation where we lost gyros at night in the weather, and it sucked.
Whoa.
I mean, it was because we got radar vectors, but you had to time turns, and it's like, wow, it's tough. And the way you're maintaining your attitude, you've got to cross-check your altimeter, right, to make sure that's not moving. And that's the only way you can ensure that you're not climbing or descending. So it's a real headache. I mean, it's a nightmare to do. They call that partial panel. And they'll do that with you some